4, 3, 2.
Hi, welcome to the A&F Show. I'm Austin Furhman with my guest Patrick O'Neill. Patrick, good to have you here today.
It is great to be here, Austin. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. All right, so first question. How would you, with such a busy schedule right now, be inspired to come and help me out? Take time out of your day and come and help me out today. Before
I answer that question, is my chair too low?
Yeah.
Is it too low?
Yeah.
You sure? Ooh. Sorry.
All right.
No, it's my bad. I was just joking around. Is this live? Are we on live?
I think.
Is everybody's cell phone off?
I think we're
Hey,
live.
you should have told me how to put some makeup on.
Oh.
Usually,
yeah.
but I'm prepared. See, this is professional television right here. It's so awesome to be here with you, Austin. I got to take the shine off my forehead. You see how
All
I
right. Yeah.
Yeah. You know why I'm here with you today? Because you're a Kings fan.
Thank you.
And we went to the Kings game together.
We did.
You remember when you wanted to meet Eddie Van Halen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Eddie Van Halen is at the Kings game, and I see him because I knew Eddie Van Halen like a long time ago. Long time ago. So I went to reintroduce myself. Of course, Eddie didn't remember. So I'm over there to say hi. I say, hey, Austin, just stay over here. It's a few years ago when he was just a kid, but look at him now. Grown man with the full beard. And so I turn around, and who is right behind me as I'm saying hi to Eddie Van Halen? Austin. He's like right here, like on my shoulder, probably wanting to take a famous selfie.
Probably at that time. You're right. I probably did want to take a famous selfie at that time.
With Eddie Van Halen.
With Eddie Van Halen, yes.
Right.
So we're going to start with your childhood and then get to where you are today. So how have your parents influenced you to where you are today?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, because, my dad was an actor, my mom was an actor, so I think that they influenced me as far as the entertainment aspect of what I do, of kind of always wanting to, perform or to do something fun like that. So I wanted to be an actor because they were actors. But my dad was a huge sports fan. And so all we did was watch sports together all the time. I mean, thousands and thousands of games. We didn't really go to games that much, but we watched television and we played a lot of sports together. Yeah. So I always wanted to be a sportscaster, even though I started being an actor. I thought, well, maybe if I make it as an actor, then I can work my way into being a sportscaster. It was kind of a backwards way of thinking, but he was a major influence. Sorry, am I going too long?
No, you're good.
I'm sorry.
To piggyback off of what you're saying, was there one team that you guys mainly followed throughout your childhood?
Well, my dad was a big boxing fan, but the Lakers were kind of like my favorite team when I was a kid. I mean, Magic Johnson came up. I mean, I was like, when he was at Michigan State, I might have been 11, and then he came to the Lakers. I'm like 12. So those 10 years were the magical years. The Kings, when in the 80s they weren't all that great, but Luc Robitaille came over and they had the Triple Crown line. But then when Gretzky joined the Kings, then we were really fired up about that. And the Dodgers. Yeah, a lot of Dodgers together. A lot of heartbreak, but also through those late 70s and then in the 80s. And I can remember where I was when Niedenfuhr gave up like a big home run, against the Cardinals.
Who do you think was your role model when you were a kid?
Definitely my dad.
Your dad.
Yeah, and then loving athletes like Roger Staubach.
Right.
Like that was like a guy that I really looked up to, and just loved athletes or Muhammad Ali. I love boxing, so some of the real and Magic Johnson, like those guys. But as far as a true role model, it has to be family, like my father and my grandfather.
Your father, Ryan O'Neill.
Nice. Yeah, wow, you
got that. Your father, Ryan O'Neill.
So.
What is your favorite memory from your childhood?
Well, I didn't. I should have looked at the paper. He gave me all the questions. I should have looked at them ahead of time. I'm usually the one asking the questions. Favorite memory from childhood. I'm so old. My childhood was so long ago. Do you mean just like, gosh, I don't even know how to, like, what's your favorite memory from childhood? I mean, I have no idea. Favorite memory from childhood.
It has to be something related to sports, probably going to a USC football game. Teenage years maybe.
Yeah, but I feel like I want to say something like sports related, like Lakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I was too old for that, so, probably just throwing the Frisbee on the beach with my dad, probably, as a little kid. We did that all the time.
All right, so right now, When are you most satisfied during your job?
What's that?
When are you most satisfied during your job?
When am I most satisfied? When it's over.
When it's over.
Yeah. When I feel like the show went well, and I feel like I can go to bed at night and not stress or not, think about what went wrong, or when we have a real clean broadcast, that's when it's truly the most satisfying. When an interview goes well, when I go out there to that bench to do an interview with the king on the bench, right, live interview, and I don't mess up, that's truly, those are great moments.
Speaking of that, what's your greatest embarrassing moment ever?
Well, I was interviewing a Dodger. Well, there's thousands of them, I think. There truly are. There are thousands. But one time I called a guy. His name is James Wisniewski. He plays for. Gosh, is he with Columbus right now?
I think
He was with the Ducks at the time, and luckily we were taping the interview. And a famous Oakland Raider, LA Raider, was named Steve Wisniewski.
Really?
So I called him Steve. There have been times when I'm doing an interview and I'm literally forgetting who it is I'm talking to. Not necessarily one of my own guys, like our own team, but like a visitor. And then I have to look back to see the name on the back of his jersey, and then I'm like, okay, that was Jussi Jokinen. But that's not even a person, is it? And one time I'm interviewing this Dodger, and he had diabetes. And him and his wife have a foundation for diabetes. So it's a live interview. So I say, before we let you go, thank you so much. I just want to let the fans out there know, you have diabetes, you have a foundation for diabetes. How can, and your wife is really involved with this, how can the people at home get involved with what you and your wife are doing that's so great? He goes, well, we divorced. So ladies, I'm single. Yeah,
Really?
That was embarrassing.
that was embarrassing for you. How would you describe your work style? Are you more of a detail-oriented person, big picture type person?
I think I am highly organized, detailed, a perfectionist, probably to the point where it probably bothers people. Right. But there's lots of times you have disagreements with producers. We don't share the same vision, But what I want is I really truly want the best for the show, and I really feel like fans want to hear from the players, or but sometimes trying to get on the same page can be difficult at times. But when we do, it's great. But yeah, I would say highly organized, to a fault, because preparation, that is the key. Because if I'm going on live television and I'm not prepared, it's gonna bite me. I mean, I'm going to fail in that situation. So I want to be so prepared that there's nothing that can throw me. You know what I mean? And let's say all the cameras go down and they need someone to talk on television to fill for minutes. Or something can happen, a catastrophe can happen in the world, and we're on television, and so I have to be ready.
So so preparation is key, obviously essential for you. You're a very busy person. What does a typical day look like for you?
Well, I just finished covering the Angels, and I travel with the teams. I cover the Angels and I cover the LA Kings. So luckily, if I'm covering a team all season long, the preparation is easy, because I understand what's happened before, what happened, the past, all the past games. So that preparation is really easy. So I can read about the game. But normally I get to the game at 4 o'clock, let's say, if it's a Kings home game. And then we have a production meeting at 4:30 or 4:45, and which you sat in on, right? And then we're on the air for let's say a 7:30 game at 7 o'clock, and on the set at 6:30. And then the Kings game is crazy because I do the pregame. Then we do a little hit for the actual game. Then I basically run down to do a hit on the ice under 14 minutes. Then I basically have to be back out on the set for intermission, then back inside for an interview on the bench under 10 of the second, then back outside for the second intermission, then back inside for a possible third period hit, and back outside for the post-game show, and then I'm done. So
right.
Kings game is awesome because I'm so busy. A little less in baseball. I'm basically a hit during the game and a post-game show.
Yeah.
So I can put my feet up a little bit.
Right. Have you ever thought about, obviously you cover the Angels, Dodgers, several other things. Have you ever considered mastering one sport and trying to cover that sport, or do you like the variety of different sports?
Is he saying that I don't master the sports?
You master every sport.
It's tough to get a laugh from these guys. Thank you. I feel that I master every sport. I truly do. And because I am fully invested in the team, in the sport, And I think that's what makes me valuable to the network is my versatility, and that I can bounce from sport to sport to sport. You know what I mean?
So makeup. Do you put makeup on before you're on live
Did the
TV?
bit work?
And
It would have worked better now, right?
And
Had I brought it out now.
how often
Darn it.
do you put on makeup? Just every time.
This
before
is
you're
it.
on?
This is all I bring. Just like just a little powder.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. So
Yeah.
every time before you're on live TV,
Yeah.
you put that makeup on.
Yeah, because I tend to get a little shiny, and I'm 48 years old, and, got these circles under the eyes.
Could be worse.
I didn't shave today.
Maybe I should have shaved. What are your thoughts on the Angels missing the postseason?
Very disappointing. And that team was an incredible team, and I know Sosha was really, really proud of those guys. I mean, for Trout and Pujols to both hit 40 home runs and for the team not to make the playoffs. And Cole had a great year, Calhoun. I think that they weren't clean enough defensively. I thought they made some mistakes. But if you look at the team, the season with Josh Hamilton at the beginning of the year, with Jerry DiPoto, resigning, with C.J. Wilson shutting it down, Matt Shoemaker getting hurt, the fact that Garrett Richards came back from knee surgery, the fact that they had to play Taylor Featherston the entire season or else they would have lost him to another team, and that he stepped up in a difficult situation. I think left field was a problem. They never really, Matt Joyce never got going. They didn't want to give up the foundation of the team or the minor leagues like a Sean Newcomb in a trade to maybe get a Cole Hamels. And I think they were able to get like a David Murphy and a Shane Victorino, but was it enough to win that last game of the year against Cole Hamels? It wasn't. But to be one game away after an August like that from the battle back and win that game, the second to last game of the year as they did, I really think it was an outstanding team that just fell a tiny bit short, but it was a lot of fun covering them for sure.
As you said before, Jerry DiPoto, what do you think of the DiPoto. What do you think of the power struggle between Mike Scioscia and Jerry DiPoto?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to comment on that, but I don't really truly believe that there was a power struggle. I think that simplifies it too much. I think that there clearly was some sort of disagreement. I think that was, that was clear, and so that Jerry did what was best for him and his family, and for what he felt was the team. But Jerry did a very good job. This team was close to making the playoffs. They won the division last year, and obviously he knows what he's doing. He's another GM of another team, but I don't think that was the reason why that team didn't make the playoffs.
Who do you think should be the permanent GM? Obviously, Bill Stoneman's the interim GM right now.
Didn't they just hired Billy Epler? That happened last night.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
so
then
they have a
already
new
it.
GM. Billy Epler was the assistant GM for the New York Yankees, and he is now the man in charge, and real smart guy, and he's going to do an outstanding job.
He's going to do good.
Yep.
What is your World Series pick?
I'm going Cardinals versus Royals.
Cardinals or Royals?
Yeah.
Cardinals or Royals?
Oh, to win it all. Oh, Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think of the Kings' upcoming season? Obviously, they got Milan Lucic in a trade. What do you think? They got the month of rest, obviously, because they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the rest is certainly going to help the team. Not making the playoffs gives them that hunger to start this season. I think that line with Lucic, Kopitar, and Gabbert going to the right wing is going to be a dominant line, and the 70s line with Carter and Pearson being hurt last year, I think was costly for the team. So having a healthy Pearson,
They also got Toffoli.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Tyler Toffoli is going to be outstanding. And the young guys now, I think today is the day that I think they put on waivers Berube
I think they
and
did, yeah.
McBain and Laverde, I believe. So it looks like Wheel and Shore, third and fourth line guys, I think they're going to push each other and be very, very good. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have young guys that are going to step up, and a little banged up on D right now. So how's Christian Eroff going to be this year? I think that's going to be key. Is Derek Forbert going to be contributing? Mm-hmm. But I think that Doughty is going to have a very, very big year. I think he wins the Norris this year.
Really? All right. Sort of a bold. I think that's a pretty big bold.
Well,
statement.
not that bold. I mean, he was a runner-up last year.
He's won, I think, maybe one in his career, but
no, he hasn't won the Norris yet.
Maybe, yeah.
He hasn't won it. He's been a runner-up.
Chara, other guys have been there, but he has not won one Norris. Yes. What is it like working with Sean O'Donnell and Jim Fox, Bob Miller, Darrell Evans?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I mean, Bob Miller is a legend, and Jim Fox, they've been together 26 years. So to work with those two guys is is awesome. And I think this might be my third year with Sean O'Donnell. And I think we've got a great connection. And then on the road, I work with Daryl Evans. And Odie works the Ducks and the Sharks games, I believe, on the road. And the Coyotes as well. So I get him on some key division games on the road. And I think we have tremendous chemistry. This will be my 11th season with the LA Kings. So I feel I have a good connection to the fans and with those guys that I work with. And I feel that it comes across in the broadcast that we have a lot of fun and we like each other.
You mentioned how much you love your job and you've worked for the Kings for a long time. What type of offer from another job would you even consider?
Haven't been offered any other jobs, but I love what I do. I've got my kids here. Sophia is a senior here at Beverly, and my other daughter is Veronica. She goes to Loxa, and just for them, they live here in Southern California. So there's nowhere else that I would rather be. I truly have like the best job in the world. I mean, this is like the dream job, but better. Like if this is your dream, it's bigger than whatever dream that I could have had for myself.
You were a sideline reporter for 2 NFL games on Fox in 2005. Tell me about that.
Well, I got to work with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. So to hear Joe Buck throw down to me on the sideline for an NFL, I'm a huge NFL fan.
Yeah.
I think that was a Cowboys-Seahawks game. That was incredible. I also worked with Dick Stockton, and I'm trying to think who was the analyst. It was a Chargers, I believe that was a Chargers-Seahawks game as well. That was in San Diego. Just to be on the sideline down there. They didn't really want to use me. They didn't go to me that much on the sideline. So that was disappointing, as far as a hit. So I was just walking around.
But still being on the field in the
Yes.
NFL game is pretty cool.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I remember I did one hit out of to start the second half, and I thought it went well. And it was incredible.
Who are some big-time, major, maybe A-list celebrities you've met over the course of your
my life?
Of your life?
Oh, well, like you mentioned, my father, being Ryan O'Neal, was an actor, a very successful actor in the 70s. My mother, Lee Taylor Young, is an actress. And so between the two of them, plus my sister was married to John McEnroe, and my sister Tatum O'Neal is an actress. So just my family alone, I'm meeting famous people. But with John McEnroe, who was the #1 tennis player in the world, before you were born, he knew everybody. So I'd hang with him and name somebody.
Lady
Met
Gaga. Kobe Bryant.
He said Lady Gaga, and I said met him.
Met him.
Just before you said Lady Gaga.
How about
No, I haven't met Lady Gaga. Name somebody else.
Chris Rock.
Yes. No, I haven't. No, sorry. No, I've been blessed to meet cool people like in music, let's Sting or something, or Bruce Springsteen, or actors. I've worked with John Travolta. Just saw him just the other day at the Angel game. When I was young, I think I met Steve McQueen or something like that. I've met Muhammad Ali. Yeah, Magic Johnson. I met a lot of cool people that I wish I would have taken pictures like you.
Yeah.
So I'd have memories. That's why he does it.
Yeah.
So he can remember.
So
when you get old, you don't lose your memory.
Exactly.
Like me. How are we doing on time?
I think I got a couple more questions for you, and then we're gonna wrap up the show.
Man, it's because I talk too much.
Yeah. Well, you're looking pretty good. I like the long responses from you.
They say okay, so we're all right.
How does being a sports fan impact your job?
It's the best to love what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every single day, every game is different. So I get to every game I'm preparing for something, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I love sports. So if I ever sit there and go, man, this game's going on so long, I'm so bored, I try to check myself. It's like, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's take it for don't take it for granted. You've got the best gig. I'm going to a game.
Mm-hmm.
My next job, I have a few days off now because the Angels didn't make the playoffs, but
obviously this Wednesday the Kings play the Sharks.
Yes, but what channel's that on?
417 Prime ticket.
No,
NBC Sports.
There you go.
159.
So does that mean I'm working or not working?
That means you're not working.
That's right.
And
but I'm working Friday.
You don't work for
on
the playoffs.
Fox Sports West.
Right. You don't work for the playoffs. When the Kings make the playoffs, because most of those games are on
We do the
NBC
first
Sports.
round.
You do the first round.
We do the first round, but obviously that's going to be side by side with a national network game. But at least we can broadcast to our home fans on Fox Sports West. They might steal a game or two in a best of 7 series, like a game 5 or a game 1. But at least for the majority, they can hear Bob Miller and Jim Fox and myself and Odie and those guys call the game. Then we do a post-game show throughout the rest of the playoffs.
That's with Sean O'Donnell and.
Yeah, well, we go on the road too, and Daryl Evans. So we'll do a Kings Live post as long as they're in the playoffs.
Right.
That's one thing we do in baseball, basketball, or hockey is we'll still at least do a post-game show.
Right. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I hope I still have the same exact job. I really do, because young folks, young whippersnappers like yourself are coming up, and they're just trying. And I'm just try to get in. Try to get in for the job.
Yeah.
Come on in. Try to get in. No, man, I'm holding you back. No, I'm holding you back. You see that? No. So I'm just trying to keep you guys back, all the young ones that are trying to come in, and steal my job.
That's what I
take
wanna
what's
do.
mine.
Maybe
you
I
want to
do.
take what's mine, don't you?
I do want to
See?
take what you have.
No way, man. 5 years, I hope I still have the gig. I really, really do.
Alrighty, that's Patrick O'Neill on the A&F show, trying to shield off
A&F, baby.
kids like me,
A&F.
and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. So, winner, this has got to be the #1 A&F show of all time. Of all times. Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on Instagram. Follow his show, the A&F Show. Follow him. Check out his tweets. Check out his selfies. He knows more famous people than you've ever known. This is Austin Furhman. This is my man. He's going to the top, straight to the top. He's the sportscaster of the future. All y'all beware. He's coming for you. Austin Furhman, A&F. He's coming for you. Watch out. Austin's coming for you. This guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very
nice
much.
job.
All right.